Señores oyentes de Usala Media, estamos aquí en compañía de un músico nacido en Puerto Rico, Hector Manuel. Él canta salsa y compone y otras cosas. Bienvenido, Héctor, a nuestros estudios aquí en Usala Radio, Usala Media.
Bueno, gracias a ustedes por la invitación. Para mí es un gran honor. Y aquí estamos para answer all your questions.
Well, we have a few. First of all, you were born in Puerto Rico?
Yes, I was actually born in Puerto Rico in a area called Lares, and at the age of 5, I was brought here to the United States, and I've been living actually in Philadelphia all my life.
Isn't Lares famous for something called a Grito de Lares or something?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
It just came to mind.
Yeah, that's what it's famous for, Grito de Lares.
And what?
I mean,
you left Puerto Rico at the age of 5, so
I left Puerto Rico at the age of 5 and brought to the United States. So.
And in Philly ever since?
Yes, I've been in Philly ever since.
So, school in Philadelphia, and
Yes, I have gone almost to all the schools in Philadelphia, from Jones Junior High to Kensington High School.
Like they say, but you couldn't keep a job, now you couldn't keep a school, huh? You visited a few of them.
Yeah, if I can't keep the school, I mean, I might not keep the job.
You moved around. What is your initiation into music?
Well, I mean, since the time I can remember, I was raised in music in terms of I was raised by my grandparents. So my grandparents would always have like these long parties at certain times, like in Christmas or birthday parties and stuff like that. And these parties would last like days for some reason. I don't know.
You did the novena from for Christmas, begin December 16, or
they would start somewhere at December 23rd or 24th, and then finish sometimes January 6th or something like that.
Los Tres Reyes.
Los Tres Reyes,
Three Kings Day.
So they would party like for days, and
So what kind of music were they playing? Or music from Puerto Rico, Cuba, that kind of.
From Puerto Rico. I mean, at that time that I can remember, it was mostly like bolero.
Right.
It was mostly bolero because at that time they used to listen a lot to bolero. But then salsa came in 1976, I think, that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
So from that era on, that's when the salsa really started to come into the family more, hearing the salsa music.
The bolero was probably good for them. It was slow. They like to dance so romantically. Is that what it was?
Yeah, because I mean, at that era, I mean, music, the lyrics were more romantic. It had a meaning to it. Right, in other words, it had a meaning. Like, I mean, you could say something to your wife or a man or whatever it is, and without you even knowing, you're already trying to draw their attention without you even knowing, because back in the days, that's how it was, the lyrics. So,
and you could understand the lyrics. I mean, I was raised with boleros and tangos, and where you could understand the lyrics, and sometimes it was like an arc, or it had a story,
Right.
The
like
song had a story.
Right. It would have like some type of story, or, something was going on with that music, that maybe somebody had some type of memory, and I guess they decide to put it into music.
Right.
So that's what it's all about, putting your feelings into the music, you know.
It was usually like tango. Tango is all about nostalgia for the past, what
Right.
happened, experiences, love that you
Correct.
found and lost, and so on. So
Correct.
bolero is the same thing.
The same
I
thing.
remember
Right.
famous interpreters of the bolero like Lucho Gatica, and then more recent ones like some of the Mexican interpreters of bolero.
Well,
That was very famous.
at that time that I can remember, I mean, we used to hear more of Tito Rodriguez,
Right.
Danny Rivera, um,
Oh yes.
Los Terrícolas,
Mhm.
um, Los Panchos.
Yeah, there were some Colombian
Yeah,
interpreters, Los Panchos, and
yeah. So it was a little bit of a mixed thing in there, but I mean, those were the songs of that time.
so is that what inspired you to get involved in music, listening to all these uh, boleros and other Latin songs?
You can
Yeah.
say that. Yeah, the meaning of what they were saying actually.
Yeah. How did you get involved in music? How did you start? What was your first thing?
Well, I actually got, like I said, I was born into the music, but then in school I also started to play the saxophone.
Hmm.
So, you know, I had a little bit of knowledge of how music was being played and stuff like that. But I
Oh, you
really,
took lessons.
yes,
Yeah.
I took saxophone lessons.
What did you pick the sax as opposed to other instruments?
Well, it wasn't a preferable thing. I mean, I just
What,
picked
you
up.
found one in the school and you started playing it?
Yeah, that was it. That's basically it. Yeah, I said, I just picked up any instrument and I started playing it. I didn't have a favorite instrument. Now I do. My favorite instrument now is the bass.
Okay.
I love the bass.
And you played?
No, I would
No.
love to learn how to play that.
Okay.
But I was a kid. I wasn't really
Right.
interested or whatever it was. I didn't care. I just like, okay, let me pick that one. And then the thing was that instead of picking a small instrument, I picked an instrument that was actually bigger than me. I picked the tenor sax.
Right.
I'm probably 5 or 8 years old with this big, huge
It's like,
instrument, and it is tall, and the instrument is almost as big as me.
yeah.
So,
President Clinton played saxophone.
oh,
Clinton.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
he
didn't know
played
that.
saxophone. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
There are some famous videos of Clinton playing.
Oh, I gotta look that
So
up.
you have a good you're following somebody's footsteps. Um, yeah. So this is between the ages of 5 and 8. You started playing.
Yeah, around that area,
Yeah.
5 to 8, I started playing the sax.
So were at this point playing by yourself, or did you join a school band or anything?
No, I was. It was just in school. I was still learning how to play, so it was just a learning process.
Right. So you said something about your brother sort of becoming interested in being a DJ, and at this
Right.
point you were in Puerto Rico, and he tells you that he wants to be a DJ. So
Right.
what follows?
It was kind of funny because I mean, uh, I was in Puerto Rico at the time, and he wanted it to be a DJ. He actually called me and said, "Hey, listen, I got my stuff to become a DJ." So I'm like, "Okay, great. I'll be in the United States in a couple of days, and I'll meet you over there." He said, "Okay." So I'm over here thinking he got this huge sound system and everything. And when I come and I look what he had, I actually laughed. And what he had was maybe a 6-inch speakers with a cassette deck player, and I was just cracking up. And I'm like, well, he was asking me, why are you laughing? I said, listen, this is not a system. He's like, but I'm actually getting paid with this. I'm like, really? He's like, yes, I already done like 2 parties. I said, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, yeah. So I said, no, but this is not what you need. So I helped them get the stuff together, the speakers he needed, the amplifiers, and all that stuff. And that's how he became a DJ. And he started going here to there, making all these parties, getting paid. And I was actually helping him at that time because he didn't have nobody else to help him. And that's how I really got into the music even more, because now I'm starting, because of him, I'm starting to know who are the singers and all this stuff. And he was really more into the credits also, who were behind the scenes doing the music and all
What
that
kind
stuff.
of music was he playing as a
Oh,
DJ?
he was playing everything. He was playing salsa, merengue,
Okay.
bachata.
Right.
He was playing everything. So this is how I came about learning who were these famous singers. So uh, it came to one point where he was already good to do his own thing. So I decided, of course, uh, with the music comes other stuff that you also like the woman's and that type of stuff. It draws your attention.
You want the ladies' attention.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I started watching him. He was getting attention from the ladies. So I'm like, well, why can't I do the same thing?
Right.
So I went out and I got my own equipment, and I started doing DJ also. I mean, I was a DJ throughout almost the whole 1990s. So
Doing private parties,
private
clubs.
parties,
What were you doing?
clubs. At the end, I settled down at the club, and I stood there for a few years. And it was good. The time was good. The attention, everything.
Yeah, but isn't that sort of a demanding life? I mean, if you're going to be a DJ at a club, then you have to be there almost every night at a club.
Well, you got to be there every time they ask you to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't. The clubs don't open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They might open Thursday, but in reality, it's more of Fridays and Saturdays.
More of the weekends.
Yeah,
right.
more of the weekends.
Right.
So I mean,
But then until the wee hours, right? I mean, those are late hours.
yeah, late hours. Yeah, you would start maybe at 10 and probably get out the club at 3 in the morning.
Yes.
The private parties, you would start at 6 and maybe you'll get out the next day. You know what I mean? Because they'll keep paying you hourly to stay there.
Right. So, what kind of reaction do you get from the public as you become a DJ, more able to interpret the music and all that?
Oh, it's just awesome, man. The energy of the people, they want to hear a certain song, you put it on, and when you put it on, they come out screaming, that's my song or whatever, and they start taking people here, there to dance. And I mean, when you put a certain song and you see the public dancing, that that's the pleasure you get from being a DJ, because you don't want to put a song and have everybody there just sitting down like nothing. Your pleasure is you put on that song and they're dancing like crazy and they're having fun, and that's the adrenaline rush that you get from that. You know what I'm saying? And the ladies coming to you and wanting to be around you all the time, and even the men, even the men sometimes want to be around you because they see that you're with all these women, and they want to be around you.
They want to follow you.
They want to. They even want to help you carry your stuff sometimes. Oh, can I help you with the speaker? To let the ladies know, oh, I'm part of him too. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's positive all over. It was fun for me. It was fun.
Yeah. So you had an entourage, basically.
You can say that. Yeah. You can say that.
Yeah,
you can say
followers.
that. I had followers, great. Man. It was good.
So there was a competition. You mentioned for salsa. Was it salsa on the square? What was that?
So after I left the DJ, I was doing it once in a while here and there when they used to call me, but I really didn't want to do that no more. And I started hanging with friends.
Why not? What happened that you wanted to stop doing that?
Yeah, I just was tired. I mean, it was. I don't know.
So you were tired of so many ladies following you?
No. It was more of carrying the stuff because it was the stuff was getting heavy for some reason. I don't know.
Well, you picked a big instrument.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, big woofers and everything, and that time too. Yeah, the instrument. But I mean, it was just so many years of just carrying heavy stuff, and I just late nights coming out at 3 or 4 in the morning carrying all that heavy stuff that I didn't want to do it anymore.
Was it well paid?
Yeah. At that time, yeah, it was good money.
Right.
It was. I mean, I used to go home with a big chunk of money, so it was pretty good.
So when you changed and you decided to join this competition, Salsa on the Square, that you mentioned.
Yeah. So after that, I used to hang out with friends, and we would go play pool tables and stuff, and they would play music. So I would start singing what was actually playing, and I would actually try to mimic that same voice that they were doing. And a few friends of mine that actually told me, "Oh, listen, you should try singing because you sing pretty good." And I'm like, "Sing? I can't even sing in the shower. What are you talking about?" They were like, "No, you should hear yourself. You sing pretty good." And I didn't pay no mind. And after a while, they just kept at it. They just kept at it. I said, okay, I just got tired of them getting in my ear. And there was a competition in salsa on the square here in Philadelphia. And it was about 35 competitors. So I was a very shy person. I would not sing in front of nobody. I mean, I was very shy. But then at that time, I said, you know what? I ain't got nothing to lose. If I lose the first night, who cares? I'm just gonna go. So I just went, and I started singing with all these people, and
how many people were competing?
it was 35, about 35.
People.
Yeah. So each week they would
eliminate a few,
eliminate one or two.
Yeah.
So that while the weeks kept passing, I was still there.
Right.
And I'm kind of shocked because I'm like, whoa, really? I'm still here. And at the end, well, I came in second place. So, I'm like, wow, second place. So that motivated me a little bit.
Yeah, well, sure. Success would motivate everyone. So you feel you're doing a good job, you stay with it. So you said you were able to imitate some of the singers that you could hear, and that's how you got involved.
Yeah.
Can you remember a specific song that sort of inspired you to sing? Like you would hear a singer, specific name that you remember?
Well, I mean, the first salsa singer that I remember that I've heard that back in the days when I was a child was Hector Lavoe.
Hector Lavoe. Yeah.
So, he became my favorite. Hector Lavoe with Willie Colon, of course. And
can you remember a song that you liked from that?
the song was
or the words. I mean, if you don't know the name of the song, it doesn't matter. But what would you say?
It was Alejate de mí.
Alejate de mí.
That was the title of the song that I was actually singing with, and I was with my friends, and they heard me sing it.
Right.
Alejate de mí, no quiero verte. Tu amor es una falsa que lastima. So they heard that, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, you sound like Hector Lavoe." And I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm just singing." He's like, that's when they got in my ear.
Right.
And I started imitating it, a couple other few artists, and they were like, "No, you should try it." And that's how I got into the competition. And at the end, I came in second place, and that's what motivated me. And
Did you enter more competitions after that?
Um,
You said something about the radio. You were calling or something.
After that, they were also having competitions on the radio. So I said to myself, okay, I came in second place over here in this competition. Let me see what happens here. So what happened there was, I could pick any song I wanted it and compete with two other persons. It doesn't matter if it was a young lady or a gentleman. And they would put us all three on the radio, and we would have to sing a cappella. And then they would have to call in and say which person they liked best. So they at the beginning they chose a lady and then the other guy, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got the 3 votes. So I won that competition, and because of that competition, the prize was to see Mark Anthony live, VIP. So I won that competition. So I'm over here happy as hell. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see Mark Anthony for the first time, first row, everything. It was a big thing because my wife went, and It was crazy.
You really liked him, Mark Anthony,
Well, I
as
was
a singer?
yeah. Well, I was also a fan of his music when he first came out. Also,
Mhm.
so I was also a fan of his. I'm still am, but I mean, back then was more. Because things change. The music. Some people like certain music, so his
Right.
music nowadays is a little bit different from back in the days. I like his music from back in the days. Not too much of what he's doing now, but
Was he doing salsa?
yeah, he's still
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
salsa,
yeah.
but it's a little more different. Yeah, it's more like pop. Yeah,
Has,
it's more
has,
like
has
pop.
other influences, yeah.
Yeah. So from there, I got more inspired by that, and there were more competitions in the radio station. So I kept entering them to see if what I was doing was, you know, it, if I could keep the routine.
Right.
So yeah, I called a few times and I won again the few times, and I went to see En Gran Combo for free, Luis Miguel for free, Chayanne for free, a whole bunch of these artists for free. So that now really inspired me. So I said, well, I guess I'm not a bad singer at all. I've won this competition. I won all these competitions in here in the radio. So okay, I'm gonna start doing my own thing. So
Yeah,
that's
Luis Miguel was singing a lot of like old
yeah,
music. He had modernized
modernized.
obviously
Yeah.
the backup band was
Oh no,
tremendous, right?
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, his songs are ridiculous. He just changed it to another level. The
right,
sound of
right.
it's bolero, it's
It's
romantic
bolero,
music,
yes,
but it's just ridiculous. His the way he sings,
right.
the whole band, like it's just nasty. I'm a real big fan of Luis Miguel, and by singing these boleros, because boleros have certain dynamics also. That also helps you sing salsa,
Yeah.
because salsa is not an easy genre,
Hmm.
especially for singing. It's not easy. That's why Hector Lavoe says, no está fácil, no está fácil el cantar como creen ciertos señores. That's why he says that. It's not that easy. So, if you really want to be more dynamic in your singing, salsa and the romantic part, then you really have to go back a little bit and go into the bolero stuff, because the
Right.
bolero has more dynamics in the way you say, certain things.
Yeah, I mean, this is just my opinion. I think bolero has survived all these different types of music. Bolero seems sort of eternal because it's like in English a ballad.
Yeah, yeah.
Frank Sinatra, that kind of his music,
Right.
Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, that kind of music sort of survives trends and so on. It grows, it changes and sometimes it falls into
Yeah.
uh, people change, the taste changes and all
Right.
that.
Right.
But bolero remains, I think, valid as a
Well, I
type of
mean, it
music.
all depends on the person. I mean, I grew up around it. So, I mean, if I hear a bolero in Spanish and I like it, I'm going to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Excuse me. It all depends on on the people who grew around it or whatever. I mean, a lot of people might not like it for some reason. I don't know. But me, I like it. Like I said, I like Luis Miguel. Um, uh, Christian Castro, he's in the same level
Right,
like
right.
that. So them type of music, yeah, I would hear. So it's you learn from them songs.
Right. So you went from being a DJ to becoming a singer, and then you say you started composing at some point. So what happened?
Well, with my first song is titled "Tu Mi Mujer,"
Mhm.
which everyone could hear it on YouTube. That's the song that actually got 350,000 views. That's the first song I actually launched, and with that song, I actually wrote it. I didn't even know I had the knowledge to compose. Sometimes when you sit back and you try to write something, it does not come out. The you try to compose a song and it does not work. It doesn't come out. But sometimes when you're just laying there and just thinking or whatever and just let it happen, that's when it happens.
Yeah.
And that's when you have to write it down before you forget, because sometimes once you have it, you have to write it down, because when you come back to memorize it, you can't memorize it anymore. It's gone. So you have to hurry up. Once it comes in, hurry up and write it. And that's what I did. I wrote it. And after I wrote it, again, I looked at it, I sang it, but I sang it in bolero, not in salsa. So I sang it in bolero. So
how does it go in bolero? Give me a little
so in
sample.
bolero, when I first sang it, it went, tú, mi mujer, la que con quien yo aprendí a querer, aquí a tu lado yo siempre estaré, querida. Es que no puedo estar sin ti, amor.
So how does that change into salsa?
Well, into salsa now, you give it more instrument, of course,
Right.
because in bolero it's not a lot of
The
instruments.
rhythm changed. Yeah.
You give it more instrument and you speed it up a little bit. Now it's not tú, mi mujer. Now it's not that anymore. Now you switch it a little bit with a little bit more speed on the music. Tú, mi mujer, con la que quien yo aprendí a querer, aquí a tu lado yo siempre estaré, querida. Speed change it and it gives it a different flavor now.
Right.
But back then I did not know how to do that. I didn't know anything about music. So I knew I came into contact with a good friend of mine that did know about music, and I asked him, look, I have this new song. How do you convert this to salsa? And he was like, well, that's easy. I'm gonna show you how to do this. We went into his basement. We got a piano. We got the tempo of it, and once we had the tempo, then we got the arranger to make the music for that song. So once we had the papers, then we went into the studios and we got everybody that needed to be at the studio to record their part of their instrument. We recorded it, we mixed it, we mastered it, and I launched it. I launched it into YouTube, and out of nowhere, it just got 350,000 views. And again,
That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And anyway, if you just tune into the Usala Media and Network, and we have we're in a conversation here with un músico born in Puerto Rico. He was raised in Philadelphia, Hector Manuel. So we're going to take a very short break. We will come back in a minute. Regresamos en un minuto.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Señores oyentes de Usala Media, les habla Fernando Mendez. Estamos aquí en Usala Media Network con Hector Manuel. He was born in Lares, Puerto Rico, raised in Philadelphia, and somehow he became a salsa interpreter. So we were talking about how you became a composer of songs. And you got inspired. I think at some point you told me your wife was in the living room and somehow she inspired you to start writing.
Yeah, I mean, somehow it's like I said, I did not know I had the ability to be a composer. I guess sometimes you got some abilities that inside that you never look into hard enough to see what you're capable of doing. It doesn't matter what you do. And that day, yeah, my wife was just walking back and forth, and I just decided to sit there and just look at her, and I just dazed off and just lyrics are started to come into my head, and that was the song "Tu Mi Mujer."
Well, that's called inspiration. That's how poets and musicians and composers of all kinds of music get going. It's that inspiration. It's like you channeling something else.
Yeah,
Coming from someplace you don't know where it's coming from, but
correct.
you're the vehicle.
Correct.
Right?
You don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming in. So you have to take that opportunity and take it all in while it's there. Because, like I said, if you don't take it in at that moment and you don't write it down, you'll forget.
Now you write the lyrics as you remember, whatever lines come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
How about, do you hear as you hear the words coming in? Do you hear the music that goes with it, or is that another process later?
Sometimes you can hear it with the music, like "Tu Mi Mujer." I did like heard it. Like I said, I interpreted it in bolero because that's how I was hearing it. I was hearing it in that type of genre and that type of melody while I was, while it was coming down, I was thinking of the words, and that's how it was coming in. So that's how that's how I sang it, because that's how I felt it at that moment. So that's but I really didn't wanted it to sing it that way. I wanted it to convert it, and that's what I did.
Do you have any idea how many songs you have composed? Or
Well, that was actually my first song that I composed, because after that, I really didn't have much time to concentrate on another song, because
right.
I was, after that song, I just started doing so much after that in reality I wasn't really thinking of composing any other.
Well, have you composed any more after that?
No, after that I haven't done any more, because I mean, like, I got people sending me their own songs now too.
Right.
So sometimes it's easier just to let me read what he got and let me see if it's good than writing your own song. Sometimes it's not that easy sometimes to write your own songs.
Right.
I mean, other people got that gift where they can sit down and automatically they'll write a song. You know what I mean? But other people, it just takes them a little bit more time to figure out what they want to write about or whatever it is.
So you have concentrated on interpreting other songs that you hear,
Yeah.
transforming boleros into salsa.
Correct.
Is that what you're still doing?
Yes,
right now? Yeah.
that's what I'm still doing. Sometimes it's easier that way.
I see. So you said something about finally you contacted some of the big names in the industry, after learning to interpret some of these boleros.
Well, actually, after this second song, a composer singer actually contacted me. He's a Cuban composer and singer. He actually lives right now in Florida by the name of Carlos Farroy.
Mm-hmm.
So he, I guess he heard the song. I don't know what happened, and he contacted me. So he asked me that if I was interested in recording one of his songs, because he had a lot of songs, and he had actually presented it to somebody else, but I guess they were taking too long or never told him anything, and he wanted it to present it to me. So I said, of course, send me the song. To me, it's an honor. I mean, you're a composer, singer. I'm just some new guy that just started. So for me, it's an honor. Send me what you got. So he sent me the second tune, which I recorded, which is titled "Eres para mí." So I liked the tune, and we recorded it. We also got it done, and we put it out there, and it got a lot of good feedback. It did make it to a few places. I mean, I didn't push it that hard, because at that point I still wasn't too serious about singing, because, like I said, this happened out of nowhere. Singing, I was never thinking about singing at all. This wasn't even in the list. So I really wasn't taking it too serious. And
Yeah.
then, there's a lot of work behind it too. So
Mhm.
It's, like I said, it was not that easy, but we got it done, and a lot of people supported it from different countries. And we did the next song, Confesión. that's where I started getting serious. Confesión was a tune. It's an original tune from this young lady which was blind. She's blind. She's Dominican, and she heard my voice, and she said, "Listen, I got a song for you." So I actually thought that she already had it written and that she was going to go to her room and get her stack of papers that she had maybe written down and bring them to me and say, pick one.
Right.
But it didn't happen that way. What happened was she said, I have a song for you. And she walked from the living room to to her bedroom door and came back and she said, I have a song for you. I said, okay, well, let me get the paper. Let me see it. And she's like, I don't have no paper. It's up here. I said, then how do you have the song? She's like, because while I walked over there and came back,
she could recite it to you on the phone.
You know, she wrote it in her head.
Right.
So she sang it to me. So I came and I wrote it on a piece of paper, everything that she was saying. And I analyzed it. And that's where I got serious. I got the arranger by the name of Ramon Sanchez. That he's from Puerto Rico. He has done arrangement from Jerry Rivera to Frankie Ruiz to Anthony Cruz, from Lalo Rodriguez, from the biggest artists that there is out there. He's done everything for them. So he made the arrangements for the song, and we got the, of course, all the people that we needed to get to record that song, and we launched it. And that song did great. It came in fifth, sixth, and eighth place in the charts. So that song did real good. That song, like, kind of put me a little bit out there.
Excellent. But then you said that now awards have come your way too because of your music.
Well, the awards started coming in after the tune I recorded called Enamore De Ti. That was a tune that was recorded by Chayanne in Bolero. So I decided to make it salsa. I looked around to see if there was anybody who had recorded that song in salsa, and actually nobody recorded that song in salsa. So I decided to call another arranger by the name of Junito, Efrain Junito Davila, that he's also a big no-name arranger in the salsa genre. And he did the arrangement, and we got it recorded. And that song also came in fifth, sixth, and eighth place in the charts. So after that song was the one who started to catapult me a little bit in the salsa scene. So because of that song, I was nominated to what's called the Mocolo Award. The Mocolo Award is something in Puerto Rico, and it's like it's an award that looked like a sugar cane, something like that.
Right.
And they honored me that award on the category, the Honors Award. That's the award they gave me. They gave me a big crystal. It's called the Mocolo Award, and they gave me the Honors Award for working the hardest in 2018.
So a recognition for your contributions.
Yeah. So that was a blessing. And then after that, I got recognition from Philadelphia, from the councilman David O. He gave me a nice recognition with a plaque and everything on it, real nice. And then after that, I won the artist of the year with Marilyn Rodriguez sponsoring the whole thing, which was actually nice also. And after that, I recorded a tune also from Carlos Farroy, the Cuban guy from Florida that I told you, because he has a lot of nice tunes. So I also recorded that, and that one catapulted me to the top. That's the song that got me number one in New York, and it got me number one in Colombia. And because of that song, I was given the Paoli Awards, which is a prestigious award that only top people get. And I did not know I was nominated for this award. What happened was somebody called me and said, listen, we just voted for you. You got nominated on this award. And I'm like, what award? He's like, bro, you don't know? I said, no, what's going on? He's like, bro, you're nominated for the Paoli's award. I said, nah, you gotta be kidding me. I said, nah, only top people get this award, because people like Lalo Rodriguez has gotten them awards, Tito Rojas, Grupo Mania, all these big names that now were the people that gotten this award. Boxer Tito Trinidad got that award. Famous.
So you have to have done something significant to get the award.
Right. So, but I didn't know I was doing something significant. I'm just out there working because that's what I do. People sometimes ask, oh, well, how did he get that award? That's impossible. But they don't see what you're doing behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes I stay awake until 4:00 in the morning, working the internet, trying to get my songs here and there, trying to do a whole bunch of stuff. So
promote and so on.
Promotion, because the promotion is hard.
Yes.
If you don't got the right people to do it for you, it might even cost you a lot of money to promote. Right. But nowadays you got the internet. So, you just got to work hard for it.
So that's why we have you here. We're trying to promote you.
It's a pleasure. So, like I said, if it wasn't because of people like you guys to put us out there, we wouldn't be out there, because nowadays everything is just money, and it's a lot of money. It's it's not easy. So by winning this award now, this award has given me some type of respect now in the music scene. You know what I mean? So
excellent. Well, if you just tune into Usala Media, we have been in the conversation with a musician, singer, composer, Hector Manuel, born in Puerto Rico, raised in Philadelphia. And so we're going to get a sample of his music, and then we'll come back and close this show. So les habla Fernando Mendez. Estamos aquí en Usala Media con Hector Manuel.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Luis how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Todos los días espero a que salga de su casa. Me le invento cualquier pretexto para hablarle en las mañanas. Como siempre decidido, salgo para conquistarla. Que tenerla frente a mí, ya no se me ocurre nada. Me pongo ocasiones, trato de verla, siempre estoy buscando su mirada. Y en el preciso momento que tengo ya la coartada, listo para decidir, no me salen las palabras. Si ella supiera que tiene una magia que domina todos mis sentidos, En su presencia provoca que pierda todo mi aliento, mientras mi corazón sigue amándola en silencio. ¿Cómo le hago? ¿Qué más intento? Y terminar con lo que está pasando. Es que yo mismo no entiendo por qué al tenerla tan cerca me hace que no pueda hablar, que pierda la cabeza. Ahora que la tengo junto a mí, no me salen las palabras. Si ella supiera que cuando está frente a mí no se me ocurre nada. Ahora que la tengo junto a mí, no me salen las palabras. Esa muchacha me tiene loco, cuando la veo mi boca se queda cerrada. Ahora que la tengo junto a mí, no me salen las palabras. Y es que en este momento se ha convertido en la punta que clava mi sentimiento. Ahora que la tengo junto a mí, no me salen las palabras. Al no poderle decirle a esa mulata lo que siento, está matando mi sufrimiento. Llegó el que no esperaba, Hector Manuel. Te lo dije. Ahora que la tengo junto a mí, no me salen las palabras. No me salen las palabras. No me salen las palabras. Como quisiera decirte lo que llevo dentro, que por ella doy mi vida y lo que no tengo. Cuando la tengo frente a mí, te lo juro, me patina el coco. Algo tiene que pasar o me vuelvo loco. Te juro que de esta noche no pasa, pero voy a decidirme, te juro que voy pa' su casa a ver qué pasa. Cuando estoy contigo crece mi esperanza, has alimentado el amor de mi alma. Sin pensar el tiempo me robó el aliento. ¿Qué será de mí si no te tengo? Si no estás conmigo se me escapa el aire, corazón vacío. Estando en tus brazos, por otro lado siento que respiro. No hay nada que cambiar, no hay nada que decir. Si no estás conmigo quedo entre la nada, me muero de frío. De cuánto te amo, si no es a tu lado pierdo los sentidos. No hay nada que inventar, no hay nada que fingir. Me enamoré de ti. Me enamoré de ti. Eres lo que yo más quiero, lo que yo soñaba. Eres mi rayo de luz a cada mañana. Y sin pensarlo el tiempo me robó el aliento. ¿Qué será de mí si no te tengo? Si no estás conmigo se me escapa el aire, corazón vacío. Estando en tus brazos, solo a tu lado siento que respiro. No hay nada que cambiar, no hay nada que decir. Si no estás conmigo quedo entre la nada, me muero de frío. Ay, cuánto te amo, corazón salvaje, pierdo los sentidos. No hay nada que inventar, no hay nada que fingir, me enamoré de ti. Me enamoré de ti. Me enamoré de ti, de ti, de ti. No hay nada que fingir, me enamoré de ti, de ti. Me enamoré de ti, de ti, de ti. Cómo pasan las cosas y hoy me doy cuenta cuánto te quiero yo a ti. Me enamoré de ti, de ti, de ti. Eres lo que más yo quiero, sin ti no puedo vivir. Me enamoré de ti, de ti, de ti, de ti. Yo me enamoré, te juro locamente me enamoré. Llegó el que no esperaba, te lo dije, Hector Manuel. ¿Cómo? Me enamoré de ti, contigo crece mi esperanza. Me enamoré de ti, vas alimentando el amor de mi alma. Me enamoré de ti, y sin pensarlo el tiempo me robó el aliento. Me enamoré de ti, ¿qué será de mí si no te tengo? ¿Qué será de mí, mamita, si no te tengo? Esto es para ti. Me enamoré de ti, de ti, de ti, de ti, me enamoré. Me enamoré de ti, ay, de tu linda mirada y de tu forma de ser. Me enamoré de amarte así, no me cansaré.
Encuentra el bosque más cercano en descubreelbosque.org. El bosque, más cerca de lo que crees.
Hey.
Estudiantes de Usala Media. Hemos estado aquí en compañía de un gran cantante de mucho éxito, no solamente en Puerto Rico, sino en Colombia, en otros países, en Perú. Así que su música lo ha llevado por todas partes. Al comienzo de esta entrevista le pregunté porque él nació en Puerto Rico, en Lares.
Lares.
So I asked him, I said at the beginning, I said, like, you know, about the Grito de Lares. So neither one of us was well informed, so I looked it up, and it says, the Grito de Lares, also referred to as the Lares Uprising, the Lares Revolt, the Lares Rebellion, or the Lares Revolution, was the first major revolt against Spanish rule in Puerto Rico. The revolt was planned by Ramón Emeterio Betances and Segundo Ruiz Belvis. The date is September 23rd, 1868. So, for the sake of maintaining our listeners well informed, and because that was something that we brought up at the beginning, I want to say thank you to Hector for being with us, and we like his music. We love to promote somebody with this kind of talent. So again, thank you very much, and thank you, our audience, for being with us today. We have reached the end of this edition in the Usala Radio Network, Usala Media Network. Muchas gracias por su sintonía. Hasta la próxima.